So welcome to Cooking Fun with Joanna. I am Joanna Hodorowska. I am the owner of Nutrition in Motion, and I help people feel better quickly. That's it. And they feel better about themselves. And part of feeling better requires better cooking, right? And cooking should be fun, which is why we do the series called Cooking Fun with Joanna. So today we are going to be making a garlic herb pork tenderloin with parsnip puree and kale. And what you're gonna need, I ended up having collard greens because the kale looked dead at the store, and the collards don't actually look that much better now that I'm looking at it. But I'm gonna make collard greens. I have the pork tenderloin, the onion, the garlic, the thyme, the rosemary, and what else do we need? Butter, olive oil, a pot, a pan, and a pan. Got it? Got it.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to start with, I never got the parsnips out of the refrigerator. But we're going to start with the parsnips because that's going to take the longest. So let me grab the parsnips. And if you don't want to do parsnips, you can just do plain old potatoes. But I find that parsnips are just a little bit more interesting than just potatoes. And if you wanted to blend it with potatoes, you could do that too. So this is a parsnip. It's kind of that tannish color, and it's another root vegetable, but it has a little sweetness to it. And we're gonna mash it, but we're gonna peel it first. And we're gonna boil them in some water. And then we're going to, while that's boiling, then we can start making the kale and the tenderloins. This is not really that exciting, but that's what we're doing is peeling. I don't know if you can even see me peeling. I'll do it this way. And I tend to like to peel towards me so that I can actually gauge it a little bit better. I also made these the other day with without peeling them, and then the skins get all over the place. So not usually a good thing. And I'm gonna suggest that we cut one garlic clove and put that in with the parsnips. So we're going to smash the garlic with the edge of the knife, cut the end off, peel off the skin. And you're just going to cut the garlic into 3 or 4 slices because it's all going to be mashed anyway. Oh, you know what? Let's just mince it. Kind of roughly mince it. You're going to put that into the big almighty pot. I think this is a 4-quart. Look at the bottom. 3.5 quarts. So I've got a 3.5-quart pot, which is what I'm going to be putting the parsnips in. You're going to chop the top off, and you're going to chop the bottom off. And you want a big, sturdy knife so that you can actually have some leverage to push down. And you're going to slice it, and you do need some elbow grease for this, especially for the thicker section. You can leave the chunk like this and just put that in. I'm going to cut the others in half, and we're going to mash these at the end too. So you're going to just kind of cut these into cubes. So these top ones I can just do a little cube, this one too, and then the bottom ones end up being half and then into a third. And the smaller you cut the parsnips, the faster they will. That goes without saying, right? But I figured I would mention it. We're just going to do the exact same thing with the other parsnip.
we boiling these in water? We're boiling them?
I haven't put the water in yet, but yes, we're gonna cover it. You're just gonna cover it with water.
Okay.
Filtered water. And I do have a filter in the house, so the water from the sink is filtered. And then you're gonna turn it on and just put it on a fire burner because we want to be able to see what we're doing. Well, I'm gonna put it on a fire burner and turn it on high and let it start boiling. And then we're gonna cover it because it always boils faster when it's covered. So now we get to take the onion and the garlic. So this is a humongous piece of onion. This is like a monster. Look at this. It's like the size of a softball. So you're gonna cut the end off, get rid of those skins. And I'm gonna use half of it for the tenderloin and half of it for the kale. And I think the kale might take a little bit longer to cook. I'm not really sure, but you might want to turn on the heat for both pans. So that you guys, how much to do this so you can actually see what I'm doing? That's the question. I need my own private assistant here. Move the parsnips to the back burner. I'm going to turn on both pans. And if you got an electric stove, turn it up on high. If you got a gas stove, turn it to medium low. But we're going to peel off that outer layer of onion and get rid of that.
When you walk by. I need an onion when you come in.
So we're gonna peel that onion and get that one layer off, this one, because this is what makes it very slippery. And if it's slippery, you can't cut very well. So what you're gonna do is,
How are you?
I would cut it kind of in half, but not all the way through. And then you're going to cut slices down the center, and then you're going to dice it. All right? And I'm going to do them like in 1/4 inch dices, just to give you an idea.
Jenny pulled up and I started talking to him.
And then rather, I'm just not going to use this end. Well, go ahead and do this one too.
Probably her sister.
Oh.
What are we doing here?
I put a little bit of olive oil into the
Okay.
Okay.
both of them.
Right.
Because I have this monster amount of onions, I'm going to put half of it in with my pork. We're going to chop up garlic and also put that in here. So we're going to do 2 garlic cloves. Minced. Again, you're going to flatten it with the knife, chop off the end so you can peel the skin off. It gets very sticky when it's.
Hey, Hunter.
So that's 1 humongous garlic clove. I think I've got everything in like humongous sizes today, except for the tenderloin and the collards. Come on, Come on, skin, come up here. My garlic skin is resisting on this one garlic clove.
Oh, man, 16 days.
All right, so
Water bottle.
you're gonna dice the garlic, and one goes into one pan, and one goes into the other. Easy enough, right? So that's one humongous garlic clove, and I'm gonna put that into one pan. And cut the clove and put it into the other pan.
Can you give me the jar with the garlic?
Well, that's the same.
Close the garlic in it.
Yeah, I figured I would put these in.
Parsnips are not yet starting to boil, so
Okay, man.
you might be waiting for the parsnips at the end.
Are we putting half of the onion in each pan, Joanna?
Well, I have a monster onion, so you're either gonna put one normal size onion into each pan, or I had the ginormous onion, so I put half into one, half into the other.
Okay.
It all just depends. If you've got a normal sized onion, then you're just gonna do one onion per pan.
That was a pretty big onion, don't you think, hon?
The original kale, or the collards, like I have,
That was a pretty big
You're
onion, don't
just
you
going
think?
to-
You want another onion?
you're gonna slice these down the middle. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I tend to cut it in half, and then you're going to chop it up into smaller pieces. And you might need to actually stir everything right now, because it's gonna be caramelized. Might be another really quick meal. But once you're done with chopping up the kale or the collards, whichever you have, just throw that in with the onions. Pick your pan, whichever pan, and just throw it in. I'm gonna discard these thick pieces, because I think it'll just make it chewy. So I'm gonna put the collards into the thick pan. The meat's gonna go in the non-stick pan. Look, I love the collard leaf. I'm gonna throw that in.
He's not eating until 6:30.
And I go ahead and just stir that all together. And then we're gonna cut the tenderloin into probably 1 inch or 3/4 inch strips. Because if you put the whole thing in like it is, it's gonna take forever to cook. So once we we're gonna cut this up. You wanna do as I do here and remove some of this excess fat. Please do. It's not gonna be tasty. My parsnips are finally cooking. I told her to. I'm gonna cut these into 3/4 inch strips. Okay? And then you're gonna put them onto the pan. The one that has nothing in it except for the onions and the garlic. on one side and then sear it on the other. It's hard to move your computer when your hands are all. Let's see what I'm doing. I'm just laying the meat. And then move the onions to the side so they don't continue caramelizing. And then when we're done with this, I'm gonna go wash my hands, and you'll probably do the same because we don't want pork all over our fingers. And then we're gonna put some salt and pepper, rosemary, and thyme on top of the on top. Okay.
Okay, try that.
Making you wait 10 hours?
Yep.
And then stir with the kale, whichever you've got. I'm gonna turn mine down a little bit because mine seems too high. Might need to add a little bit of chicken broth or a little water into this, or maybe even just a little bit of lemon. Oh, lemon is really good. So let that cook just a little bit more. Now we're going to put the salt and pepper on the pork. And I'm using some Celtic sea salt. There's a few extra minerals in it that regular salt does not. A little bit of pepper. And then we're going to put some thyme and rosemary onto it. So make sure your hands are dry. Otherwise, everything's going to stick to your fingers. And it's not going to be in the pan. So you're going to take a big pinch of the rosemary, and then you're going to pinch it in your hand. You break up the pieces. And then you're going to sprinkle them on top of the pork. If you need more, you grab more.
So we're doing salt, pepper, then rosemary and thyme.
Correct. Salt, pepper, rosemary, and thyme. And you should start seeing your the pork getting white on the edges. That means that it's starting to cook. Which is good. We're going to try to pan sear it on the one side, and then we're going to flip it over. And I'm going to use tongs, I think, to flip mine. And I'm going to stir my collards again. And I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. And then cover it. I'm going to put a tablespoon of lemon juice into my collard greens and then just stir. And that lemon juice should give it a nice little hit. We need to put a little salt and pepper into here too. In case you forgot, you're gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper in here as well.
It stinks.
Whatever.
Now we're gonna flip the pork. I'm gonna stir color again with a little bit of lemon juice, and then I'm gonna cover it. It was kind of brown, and now I'll let it cut. If you want to add something else like some nuts or raisins, you can do that too, or even dates. And I am going to flip. This is exactly how you want it to be. You want it browned on the one side And you want that the whiteness to be kind of coming around the edges. That's how you know it's ready to flip.
Okay.
This last one is being a little bit hot. This is why you want the heat on a little bit higher so you can brown it on the one side. You want to move the onions around, you can. Some of mine are charred and some are not. And then while we're all doing that, we are going to check to see how the parsnips are doing. And the parsnips are actually almost ready. Another minute. We're going to drain them and then mash them and put a little butter and cream into it. Right? I'm going to turn off my greens. And I definitely have to make sure that I leave the pork on here a little bit longer because you don't want any pink centered. And there's still a couple pieces that I can see there's a little pink on the edge. So we're gonna leave the pork as is. We're going to drain the parsnips in a minute and then we're gonna mash it, add some butter. A little good. I'm gonna move that. If you take a knife and stab the parsnips, the knife should go in easily, and mine now goes in very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and drain it. Pull that water out of there. Turn the water off. Gonna add some butter. It's not exactly how I wanted it, but I. Foolproof method isn't so foolproof after all. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit of butter in here. Let that melt a little bit. Then you're gonna use the potato masher. Handy dandy potato masher. Just mash the parsnips. You could use an immersion blender as well. But I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way by hand. Uses a few extra calories, right? And then we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper into here. And a little bit of the cream. You could use a non-dairy cream as well, as long as it's not sweetened. I don't know if you could use like a sweetened vanilla creamer. That would be that might be kind of gross. So now a little bit of salt and pepper. No salt coming out of here. Come on. Put this thing up. All right, we're going to plan B. Different salt. A little bit of pepper, a tablespoon of cream. And then just mix that all together. So it should look pretty nice and creamy. And if it's not, well, it'll just be, it's like lumpy parsnip mash, right? And then the parsnips, so the parsnips look done. The collards are definitely done. And it looks like the pork is done. So guess what that means? It's time to take a sample and see how it turned out. And look at that, a whole meal in less than half an hour. How easy is that?
Mine is nowhere near done.
So Gina, since you're really good at how to put it on a plate, how would you put it on a plate?
You know what? I would probably do the parsnips in the middle, like a little pile with the pork on the top, and then collard greens around the edge.
All right, so let's see if I can wangle the presentation. I just gotta get the right utensil to get the collards. So the collards around the outside.
Yeah, I guess do the greens are on the outside, and then the potatoes in the middle.
And then the pork on top.
Yeah, and then the pork on top of the potatoes, on top of the parsnips.
All right. All right. How am I doing so far? Does this look like it's
That looks
proper?
good. That looks good.
All right. So now layer a couple of the pork. Well, I think I only want 2 sprays, but 2 got stuck together. Take some of those extra onions and throw that on top. And voila, we have dinner. How's everybody else's look?
It's coming. I'm still cooking.
Oh, you're just still cooking? Okay. I think I'm gonna use a steak knife to try it. Because why not, right? If I have steak knives, I might as well try steak knives. I think I need a fork too. That would help, right? If you want to eat, it's better with a fork. So I'm gonna try a little bit of everything here. Which is probably a lot of everything. But I gotta let it cool because it's kind of hot. And that little tail has to come up over the top. All right, I still got steam coming off of this. It smells good. That's always a good start, right? If it smells good. Now for the real taste test, right? And I just lost all of my fixings that were on top of mine. Crazy how that works. All right, so. Very good. A very nice combination. The parsnips are just enough sweet, yet savory. It gives it a nice twang. And then the lemon juice in the collards definitely helps. So if you didn't put the lemon juice into the collards, throw some in there right now. Or take a lemon wedge and just squeeze it on top. But I think you're gonna definitely like this. And you'll let me know in the comments below too, how yours turned out. And if you have any other ideas or things that you would like to have prepared, then you can always contact me at www.nutritioninmotion.net. And I picked something for our next meal, but now I can't find it. But it's going to be a potato latkes with either a like a mushroom onion combination on top, or it's going to have some kind of chicken thighs, caramelized chicken thighs and onions, or caramelized onions with mushrooms on top of the potato latkes. Sound good?
Yeah.
So I thought I had the recipe right here and I don't. So can't tell you what's in it. I can just tell you this is what I decided. And then the other week in February, I think we'll do also a hearty, some kind of stew. Because it's, you know, should be about heart health, right? So it might as well be a hearty stew. So hopefully you enjoyed the cooking class. If you enjoyed it and want to make a $10 donation, please do so at the links below, either Venmo or PayPal. And we look forward to seeing you every second and fourth Tuesday at 5:30 Eastern time with me, Joanna, for Cooking Fun with Joanna.
Everything's delicious.
Awesome.